Okay, I've discussed this principle before, but I have a good example of a clincheck modification that can be helpful in your cases. I'm going to remove the attachments just so they're not a distraction. Going to remove the IPR. Here we have a case that is class one crowding. The teeth certainly appear inward or upright. We don't need a Ceph to determine that we can consider moving things forward a little bit, certainly the upper centrals, which are in a crossbite. And so here are those upper centrals, and we want to advance them. Now, if you look at the clincheck quickly in this view, you sort of see as they come forward, look at how they're moving forward in a pure bodily fashion. The way you can, in fact, not even bodily, there's almost more buccal root torque. You can look at the facial aspect and you can see that the leading edge of the movement is almost the gingival margin. That's not how teeth move. Now, you could say that the clincheck is building in some overcorrection to minimize tipping or flaring, but that's okay in this case because they're already leaning in. We sort of want to tip them forward. I always think about how cases look in a round wire after initial alignment. This would work fine. So the modification I make, rather than telling the technician and waiting for it to be turned around, and so I can visualize the change. And by the way, notice how this 0.8 millimeters, 0.8 millimeters, and we have some slight overjet here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the root and I'm going to move the root back. I'm removing the buccal root torque, that some of it that they put in. And I'm going to do the same on the lateral. Keep going. And I'm just looking. The question at the end of the day is, by doing this, will I change anything? Well, first of all, look, I have less space. I didn't even try to do that. It just happened that way. This to me is more of a tipping movement. I'm going to even push the envelope even more. Okay. Okay, so now I only have 0.3 millimeters of space that resulted from this movement. I still have the same overjet. And my belief, based on anecdotal experience of treating 6,000 cases, is that the movement that is depicted here is very predictable for aligners. And that the previous movement was not predictable, and that overcorrection that was built in was not going to help the aligner fit comfortably over the teeth or help the teeth fit comfortably in the aligner. And so, there are other examples of overcorrection, like if you're trying to move a tooth into an extraction space, where maybe you do want to have the root move into the extraction site first. But this is not that kind of case. You don't have buccal bone to move the tooth, and there's really no reason to do that torque. And look, without that buccal root torque, the teeth still have a nice normal profile. Hope this helps.